morning, students. My name is Mrs. Blessed, your CRS teacher. Today's topic is temptation of Jesus Christ. At the end of this topic, you should be able to say the meaning of temptation, state the areas Jesus Christ was tempted. State the significance of Jesus' temptation, some of the temptations in Nigeria today. That is, you should be able to state some of the temptations in Nigeria today, how we face temptations in Nigeria today, or the kinds of temptations we are seeing in Nigeria today. Then ways of overcoming temptations. Now let's start with the word temptation. Temptation simply means a process whereby someone is enticed or persuaded to do something wrong before God and man. That simply means when someone is enticed, that is, when someone is pushed or lured, let me use the word lure. When someone is lured to do something that is wrong before God and before man. Now, Jesus was tempted in 3 different areas after his baptism. According to Matthew, after Jesus' baptism, Satan led him into the Holy Spirit led him into the wilderness, where Satan tempted him, or where he was tempted by Satan. Then the 3 specific areas Jesus was tempted. Number 1 was through the desires of the appetite. That is, the hunger. Appetite simply means what someone wants to eat. Then the second one is the pride of life. The pride of life. Then the third one is the desires of the eye. As we go on, we'll see how Jesus was tempted in the area of the pride of life and the desires of the eye. Then I will start with the desires of appetite. At the end of Jesus' 40 days and 40 nights fasting, we all know that Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. So at the end of the fasting, Jesus was very hungry. And then Satan appeared to Jesus and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to turn to bread." Imagine what Satan was. He was trying to challenge Jesus. He was tempting Jesus to turn stones into bread, because he knows that after 40 days and 40 nights, this man must be really hungry. So let me tempt him with this to know if he will succumb. Let me tempt him with this to know if he will fall. But no, Jesus did not fall. Let's listen and see what Jesus said. Jesus replied, "It is written, man cannot live by bread alone." It is written, man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. With this statement, Jesus has already defeated that particular temptation of appetite. Jesus told Satan, man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. That means that God can be able to sustain someone, not really by the food that someone eats, but by the word of God. And what is that word of God? The Bible. That simply means that man can live with the word of God, not only bread. In as much as you need bread to live, but that without word of God, you can still eat the bread and die. So the second aspect where Jesus was tempted was the pride of life. They wanted to know if Jesus is proud of himself by taking him to the holy city. He set him on the highest point of the temple, that is the pinnacle, and said, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for the word of God says, God will hold you up with their hands, so that even your feet will not be hurt on stones. Then Jesus replied, but the word of God says, do not put the Lord your God to test. That is, Satan was trying to make Jesus to tempt God by telling him to jump. If you, according to Matthew put the pride of life as the second temptation. But according to Luke put the pride of life as the third temptation. So the next one will be desires of the eye. So the next area Jesus was tempted was the area of desires of the eye. Satan took Jesus to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their greatness, and said, all these I'll give you. All these I'll give you. That is, he showed him the whole world. That is, many things, houses. Then he was promising Jesus, I'll give you all these things. If what? If only you can bow down and worship me. What did Jesus say? Then Jesus replied, go away, Satan. Some versions will say, get behind me, Satan. For it is written. Jesus was always using the word of God to overcome temptation. For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only, him alone shall you serve. That is, you are not going to serve any other God. You are not going to serve you are not going to have any other image that you worship except God. Then the devil left Jesus, and angels of the Lord came and ministered to him. According to Matthew said that after the temptation, that is after this, that angel of God left Jesus before the angels came. But when you read with the Luke version said that angel left and waited for another opportunity to come to tempt Jesus. So from this, there are significances of Jesus' temptation. Number one of the significances, total obedience and submission to the word of God. Jesus was obeying. He was obedient to the word of God. And the word of God really helped him in overcoming temptation. Then the second one is that you must not tempt the Lord your God. Just as Jesus said in one of the temptations. That is in the second temptation, if you are reading with the Matthew version. When Satan went to tempt Jesus by telling him to jump, that God has given his angels charge over him. Jesus replied, you should not tempt the Lord your God. So you must not tempt the Lord your God. Then another significance is to prove if Jesus was really the Son of God. Then it shows Jesus' human nature, because it is only human beings that can be hungry. Today, some people do not believe that Jesus came as a woman. But if Jesus was a spirit, if he came as a spirit, he will not be hungry. So one of the things is also to tell us that when Jesus came to die for us, when Jesus was on this earth, he came as a human being. So everything that he passed through it as a human being, not as a spirit. Then another significance is that we must not be blinded by materialism or worldly gains. Just like we saw in the desires of the eye. In the area of desires of the eye, where Satan took Jesus to a high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms. If Jesus was the greedy type, or if Jesus is the type of the boys we have today, that are eager for materialism. At the age of 20, you want to own a Lamborghini, you want to have a Range Rovers. If Jesus was blinded by those materialism, he would have fell for that temptation of desires of the eye. Then today in Nigeria, there are so many temptations we come across, both as young and as old. The first is making fast money. So many people, so many students are into it. Some of your classmates have even lured you into dropping out of school to come and join them to make money. They want to teach you how to do Yahoo Plus and all that. It's temptation. We should not be lured. We should not allow ourselves to fall into it. Instead, when this type of temptation comes, try and overcome them, just like Jesus did. The next one is examination malpractice, which is very common. It's very common with you students today. Some of your friends will also tempt you into dropping out of school, taking you out to the private centers for you to come and register. It's temptation. We should try and overcome it. Bribery and corruption, stealing, fraudulent practices, laziness and neglection of duty, premarital sex, etc. There are so many temptations in Nigeria today. There are so many. I cannot finish it. We all know it. We should just try and just take ourselves away. We should take ourselves away from those bad friends that are tempting us, that are enticing us with worldly things, that are trying to persuade us to fall into one temptation or the other. Then there are ways of overcoming temptation. We have talked about temptation. We say that temptation is a process whereby someone is enticed or persuaded into doing what is wrong. You know what is wrong and you know what is right. Now, how are we going to overcome this temptation? From what we read about Jesus' temptation, from what you have learned today about Jesus' temptation, you saw how Jesus was tempted and how he overcame. He overcame solely by the word of God. Because he knows the word of God, he reads it. That's why he was able to use the word of God to defeat Satan when Satan came to tempt him. Now, your assignment will be state 5 ways of overcoming temptation. State 5 ways of overcoming temptation. One of you, I'll give you one, then you go and state others, and that one should not be part of your 5. One way of overcoming temptation is by praying and studying the word of God. Be a praying student. When you pray always, God will help you to overcome temptation. And the Spirit of God will also make you to know when you are tempted. Because some people don't even know when they are tempted. The Spirit of God will make you to know when you are tempted and also direct you in the path of running away or taking yourself away from the temptation. So, for today, this is the end. This is where we are going to stop for today until next class. As you stay home and stay safe. Thank you.